friends, it's Holly. Welcome to Dandelion Stitches. Welcome if you're new, welcome if you're back again. Thank you for both. Awesome to have you here. Today, well, first of all, so how are you? What's going on in your life? Or is it like back to school hustle? What are you working on? I know I ask this all the time and nobody ever tells me, but small talk and it's friendly. So anyway, I was walking through my office the other day and I saw my library bag hanging on a hook where it always hangs, ready for me to go to the library. And I decided I had this. This is my library bag. I had this bag for 10 years? Maybe not quite 10 years. 7, maybe. Anyway, a lot of years. I got it when I worked at a fair trade store. It was made by some lovely folks in India, and it is a wonderful bag, and I use it all the time. And it is a testament to what a good job these people did, because it has hung in there through books and groceries and you name it. So I decided it was time. It was time for a new bag. So I would make myself a new one. And then I thought, well, maybe it would be cool to do a tutorial on this little bag. It's very simple. It is the simplest bag that I think I could possibly show you how to make. So that's what I did. I made a tutorial of how to make this bag. So we're going to go right into it. We're going to go step by step on how I made it, what you need to make it. Once you get it done, you're going to be like, I could make 100 of these. They'd be great gift bags. I mean, especially if you were gifting somebody books, or if you were gonna make a basket for somebody, it's easy to roll up and stick into the basket. I think that has a lot of uses. So let's go ahead and do the tutorial, and then we'll come back and I'll show you a few other ways that you can jazz it up a little bit, and all the ways that it works super well for me. So be back in a sec. All right, to make this nifty little bag, we're going to need these things. We're going to need 4 pieces, each one cut 18.5 by 16.5, 2 for the exterior and 2 for the lining. You can do whatever you want here. You can use all the same fabric, which would kind of make it, well, it kind of is reversible. Anyway, you can use coordinating fabrics. You can do whatever works for you. This is an Alison Glass print. This is an older, the exterior of the bag, excuse me, is an older, and it's actually directional, but I didn't have enough of it to make it go the right direction. So, it's fine. And this one is from her more recent collection. I love Alison Glass. I'm sure you're not surprised. There's moths. And there are also toadstools in little places. I don't see one here, but anyway. So then you're going to need 2 pieces for the handles. 4 inches by 27 inches. No interfacing. I'll talk about that in a minute, but we're not going to interface them or anything. Then we're going to need 2 pieces for the pocket. The pocket is optional. I'm going to show you how to put the pocket in, but I use the pocket to put my library card in, and maybe a couple of bucks just in case I owe a fine, which I almost never do because I'm a little obsessive about that. But anyway, a pocket is just, it's handy. So the pocket is going to be 5.5 by 4.5, and you are going to need 2 pieces. Okay, I start with the little pieces and work my way up to the bag. So the next thing we're going to do is prepare the handles and the pocket. So we're going to start with the handles. So we've got our handles, and the first thing we're going to do is fold them in half lengthwise And just give them a little press. Like so. Then we're going to open them back up again. Fold one side towards the middle. Press it all the way down, just like we did the other one. And then we're going to take the other one, fold it over, press it or fold it towards the middle, and then fold it over the top of what you just pressed. Now, in a perfect world, they should match up completely without any trouble. Yeah. So if you're like me, and sometimes you're kind of a crazy cutter or whatever, you might need to do just a little shimmying with that folded over one, just to make sure that the edges are together. And we're just going to do this all the way to the end, and then do the exact same thing to the second piece. So we've got our folded up, pressed strap. You may notice, if you followed me for a while, that we're back to Bob here. Bob the brother. Bob never does me wrong. I gotta say, Jolene is acting up again, and I just don't know what to do with her. So we're back to Bob, because I'm too busy right now to mess with whatever's going on. So anyway, I do kind of I think what they call a scant 1/4 inch seam. I don't do all the way to 1/4 inch, just kind of, you know what, you don't need to fuss about it. As long as it's the edge, you're good. I just don't want to try and get it too close to the edge, because then it kind of looks funky. And so anyway, so then we're just gonna stitch. And if you notice, I make a little track sort of between my fingers here to kind of hold it going at the same, to give it a direction, to spit the words out, Holly. Keep it even without having to mess with it too much. So I just put one finger on the outside and one finger on the inside and hit the pedal and go. Sometimes you just gotta have to rearrange a little bit. Okay, here's a tip. When you're doing straps or anything that you're top stitching this way, where you're going to have two seams parallel down a strap, for example. Do not, okay, we're done here. Do not do this. Go back to the beginning where you started and do the other side from the top. Otherwise, you can get rippling and weird, it doesn't look as clean and nice as if you just go back to the top and do it from there. Ta-da! We've got a strap. Okay, I do not put interfacing in these straps for this bag because I often fold it up and put it in my purse for other shopping, grocery shopping, stopping in some little shop for something. And the interfacing makes the handles not fold nicely, and they kind of bunch up, and then they don't look, it is not my preference. So that's why I don't do that. Now they will they'll fold up a little bit, and you know, after a year or so, it's going to look a little like it could use a press job. But I prefer that to putting interfacing in them, but it's a preference thing. So if you think you would like your handles to be a little bit more, less inclined to wrinkle or fold, then by all means, put a little piece of interfacing in there. That will be the answer. So we've got handles. I did the other one off camera, and now we have le pocket. So we're going to put right sides together. This could not be easier. We're going to start kind of off to one side because we're going to need to leave a space to turn it. And I'm going to do a full 1/4 inch seam here. Back her up. All the way to the corner. Make a wild guess, but that worked out pretty well. Go all the way to the corner again. 2 for 2. Well, will you look at that? See, neither had to be one. That one was just a hair too short. There we go. Okay. So here's where I started. There's that. Okay. Now my scissors are a little bit dull, so this is what we're going to chop the corners. And we're going to turn it right side out. Let me get my corner poker here. Those little corners out. And there's one. I got this thing from a box. I don't remember whose box or what, but I'm telling you what, I love this thing. Its point is not so pointy that it would go through, and this part is like silicone. And if you had to rip anything or you've got some extra threads, it just takes them all away. I love this little thing. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and press it, making sure that I press this little open area so that it looks nice and tidy. And then I will show you how to apply your pocket. So I've got one piece of the lining, and I have the pocket, and I'm choosing to use the blue side of the pocket because that's too much like that. So I'm going to take the lining and I'm going to fold it in half to find the center, and I'm just going to kind of finger press it down a little bit so we find the center. And then we'll open it back up again. And then we're gonna find the center of the pocket into the exact same way. And then we're gonna make sure that the open part, that we use to turn, the open part is on the bottom. So you're gonna match up the centers. Well, that, Oh, center, there we go. Okay, we're gonna match up the centers and we're gonna measure 6 inches down from the top. I've got 100 rulers and none of them where I want them. So, a bit more. Okay, I don't like that. That's too far down. I think we're gonna maybe go 5 inches from the top. Change of plans. Line up the center. Take your pins and just pin it on there however it works for you. You can do all 4 corners, you can do the sides, whatever works. So I'm going to take it to the machine. I'm going to backstitch at the top here, maybe even a couple times just to reinforce the edges, and then just go down, across, and up. And again, I'm going to use that scant 1/4 inch or even 1/8 of an inch seam to sew it on. So I shall be right back. And we've got a pocket. Now, once you get like super comfortable, or maybe if you're already an advanced sewer, a zipper pocket here would be really good. That way your library card or whatever, your keys or whatever you stick in there can't travel. But because we're going for simple today, we're not going to do that. So now we're going to take the other piece of our lining and just line it up with its brother or sister, and we're going to stitch down this line, cross to the bottom, stop, pick up again here, keep on going, go all the way to the top. This is so when we've got the bag pretty much done, we can turn it. This needs to be kind of big enough to get your hand in. That's how I judge. Do I feel like I can get my hand in that space? Okay, then we're good. Now, I am not much of a pinner, but if you are a newer sewer, I would really recommend that you wonder clip or you pin at least, you know, maybe the corners, maybe the place that you're going to leave open as a reminder that you're not going to sew. That's the word. This is where we're stopping. And then this is where we're starting again. And just, you know, so things stay straight and not shift around a whole bunch. So I'm going to go to the machine. I don't feel like you need to watch me sew all this. If you disagree and you feel like when I do tutorials like this, you'd really like to see the sewing portion, please say so. Because I just kind of feel like it's sort of boring to just watch the machine go. But if you do want to see those things, please say so. So anyway, we're going to go to the machine and we're going to stitch up the lining. Then we're going to take the exterior. We're going to do the same thing we did with the lining. We're going to flip it over, right sides together. And this time, we're going to sew it all the way around. No stopping at the bottom, just all the way around. So I'm going to go to the machine, I'm going to sew those 2 things, and then I'm going to come back. Okay, so now we have the front, and we have the lining, and we have the handles. So The lining we're just going to leave the way it is. We're not going to turn it right side out. We're just going to leave it alone. The exterior, find the top, we are going to turn right side out. Okay, take your little poker, get into the corners. And if you feel like it, you can press it. I usually do, and I think I'm gonna, so I'll be right back. If only I could rig up cameras so that I didn't have to keep shutting you out of every process because I don't feel like moving the camera. But anyway, all I did was just make sure that the seams were not bumpy, I guess is the best word. I just wanted to get the seams taken care of. So now we're going to take our handles and we're going to measure about 5 inches in from the outside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to put the inside corner on that 5 mark. And pin it. You are seeing me do this. Yes. Okay. Every time I move the camera, I worry. So, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I go back and make sure that I didn't twist the handle in any funky way. Looks good. Flip it over. So now you can just find where the handle is on the other side, match it up, and pin. Okay. That looks good. This is not by any means an exact science, and I'm not a perfectionist, so if they're off a little, so what? Okay, check. We're looking good. Okay, now we're going to take the lining. We're gonna open it up. And yep, gonna do it any minute now. I'm gonna make that happen. Okay, open it up. Do kind of like a pillowcase, like you're gonna put your pillow in, and stick the outside right inside the lining. So you're got 2 little bags, and we're just gonna line up the top. So I start with the side seams and get them lined up, take a pin. Then I go to the other side seam. Line it up. Pin. Then I kind of shake it out a little bit. And then I find where the handles are and line things up. And pin. Find the other handle. Pin. Flip her over. Do the same thing. Okay, so now we have the whole top pinned. I am comfortable with that many pins, but if you would prefer, you can stick pins here. You can put a pin in the middle, however whatever is comfortable for you. So I'm going to go to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew all the way around. And I don't think I mentioned, and I hope I remember to put it in the cards, but anyway, I'm just using a 1/4 inch seam. You can use a 1/2 inch seam. You can use whatever seam you like, as long as you consistently use the same seam throughout the whole bag. But 1/4 inch works for me. You know, when you're a quilter, everything is a 1/4 inch. And then you can use your 1/4 inch foot. So I'm going to go and sew and come back. Okay, so I decided maybe I ought to not be lazy, and I should show you what I'm doing here. So I've already sewn a little bit, but I'm to the strap. So when you get to the strap, go ahead and sew over it, and then go back, and then come back again. And that will just secure that strap in there so that when it's taking the weight of whatever it is you're putting in this bag, it can do so a little bit better without pulling out. Over and back. And over we go. Was watching a tutorial the other day, and they were sewing over their pins, and it was drilled into my head so many times when I was learning to sew to not sew over your pins, because if the needle hits it, you know, you're going to break the needle, and all other kinds of sewing drama can ensue. So I almost sent her put a comment. This sewing over your pins is stressing me out, but I decided, well, you know, if that's her style, then that's cool. But I would take my pins out if I was you. Alrighty. So hopefully you can see. The problem with Bob here, as much as I love him, is the lighting is a problem. He doesn't have a whole lot of light down here. So anyway, we find the hole in the bottom and start pulling the exterior of the bag out. Until you get to where you left that opening. So I just go ahead and fold it. Because this wasn't pressed, it isn't, you know, this part isn't pressed into it. So I do just, stick a little pin in there. See a show of hands of how many of us have bled on our sewing projects. Me, I have. Multiple times. Okay, so then we just let's get rid of that. Get that back down on there. Voila. Now we're going to stick the lining inside the bag. Shake her on down there. And now I'm going to go and press the top, and then we're going to top stitch. So let's go do some pressing. It's a bag, just like that. So when you turn it right side out, you know, you get it all going. Take some time to put your fingers in the corners and get the lining down there. But it's an awesome little bag. It's a great size. And here's one of the reasons why I love this kind of simple bag is if I fold it like so and roll the handles down and then fold it up again, it folds into this really nice flat little bundle that I throw in my purse. And so it's here for a quick grocery stop or a quick shopping stop. It fits quite a lot of stuff. I am always careful to not put, well, you know, I shouldn't do that. I put like 10 books in it the other day and it was fine. It didn't. The handles are long enough that they'll go over your shoulder. That's also preference. If you don't want them that long, you just make them shorter. So that is my bag. So while doing this, and I thought I would do a few other ones to show you things that you could do to jazz them up a little. This was my first one. I made this one just so that I was sure that I knew what I was doing. Am I high enough? I don't think I'm. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. I'll be back, guys. Okay, sorry about that. It's wedding. It's so exciting. It's so exciting and so drama packed. It's just, we went for her fitting yesterday and her dress wasn't there yet. Oh my goodness. If I were a drinking woman, this would be a really good time to start maybe. But anyway, before I go, I just want to show you a couple of ways that you can do these bags to jazz them up just a little bit, and not in a difficult way, just to, you know, a little something. So I did this one using that panel that I showed you. So the bunny's on the one side and the fox is on the other side, and I only had fat quarters to work with here, so you can see that this, no, that strap's whole, that the strap is kind of scrappy, and the lining is different fabrics, but worked out well, I think. Actually, I think it might be my favorite. And then this one, excuse me, I had a leftover quilt block from a quilt that I will be showing you at some point in the not too distant future. And so I used the leftover quilt block to put on the front of the bag, and I didn't put a pocket in this one. Lining, and again, the handles are different because I didn't have enough. So you can just, you know, you can be scrappy. You can take this super simple bag and just go crazy. I mean, you can do all kinds of fun stuff with it. So you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, you can have fun. So that's it for this week, or at least for today. It's the beginning of the month, so the box openings start pretty soon. So I hope this was helpful to somebody. It was helpful to me because now I have all kinds of new bags to work with. So, and I need to go to the library tonight. So be well, be safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.